Hi, welcome to Maggie Chat's Books. Today I'm going to do a hardback haul. These are books that I've gotten from April to about August, and there's 8 of them. Some of them are the book of the months that I've gotten, and other ones are just ones that I bought on my own, and maybe 1 or 2 are ones I got for my birthday in July. But there's 8 of them, and I'll just go in random order of when I don't even know when I got them. So the first one is J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is the 20th anniversary edition. I got the Philosopher's Stone in the Hufflepuff edition, and this one is in the Gryffindor edition. And I thought, because I don't have the Harry Potter series, I have bought it, but it was for my daughters, that I would collect these editions and have my own series. And this one, if you haven't seen these books, it comes in the spine. Let's see, the end pages are the house colors. You also get to read some about the house in the book, and I just think they're really, really pretty. I was debating if I should collect these or the ones with pictures, but I find these are easier to hold because I do want to reread them and be able to reread them. So I think I'm going to be very happy with this series. Although I think if she's releasing them at their 20th anniversary, it's going to take maybe another 5-6 years before I get them all, but that's okay. The next book I got is Christian Hanna's The Great Alone. This book has been discussed quite a bit on BookTube. A man comes back from Vietnam. He was a POW. He is really suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. Of course, they didn't know what that was. They didn't really discuss that at the time. He moves his family to Alaska, and you get the story from the point of view of his daughter, who I believe is 9 years old. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this, but not much about the plot, and I really didn't want to know much more about it, but I thought it would be a very good read. And I've heard a lot of good things about this author too, so thought I'd give this one a try and see if I want to read more of her books. The next book was one that I was kind of on the fence about, and I wanted to read more mysteries, but I'm not sure about this one. This was a book of the month, but this is Still Lives by Maria Hummel. This is a story about an artist who does art, and she does this presentation called Still Life, which I believe is about murdered people. And the night that her art exhibit is supposed to open, she doesn't show up. So it's a mystery surrounded about her disappearance. That's pretty much all I know about it. It's not that big of a book, so I thought maybe it would be a kind of a quick read and interesting. I'll probably save this for the fall. It just seems like a fall book, but hopefully it will be entertaining. I really haven't heard much about this book though after it was released, so I'm not sure, and I don't really want to read a lot of reviews if there's any out there, but we'll see how it is. Next one is the Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Penn, and this is a book about a woman whose mother dies, and the woman believes her mother turned into a bird when she dies. So she goes back to Taiwan, which was where her mother is from, to visit her grandparents and to find her mother as a bird. Don't know much more about it than that, but I thought that was a very interesting concept and something different than what I've read before. Maybe a little bit of fantasy in this one as well, so we'll see how this one goes. The next one is the second book in the Murderbot Diaries, and this is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. The first book, Murderbot Diaries, was released as a paperback, but not as a hardback. Then they started releasing this one, and I think the third one is also coming out in a hardback. I really, really like this series, but then I hate to have a series where you have paperbacks and hardbacks, which is crazy, but you know, it's just not my thing. So I noticed now that they are going to release the hardback edition of the Murderbot Diaries in August, so I might, no, I'm sorry, later this year, October, I think. So I probably will get that one as well, but this one I got for my birthday, and I think I will reread these, so I am debating about getting the other one as a hardback. So we'll see how this one goes, and then the next book comes out later this year as well, and I think it's just a 3-part series. So see how that is. And the Murderbot Diaries, I'm sorry, are about robots that were supposed to be murderers, really, and they're repurposed to do something else. So the story is told from the robot's perspective, and I just thought the first one was really good, especially for a novella. She got a lot of substance in that short book, and I think she did a great job. I almost wish that they were longer in some ways, but for a novella, it was really packed with some good stuff. So the next book is The Dust Bowl Girls by Linda Reeder, and this is a nonfiction story about during the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma, a man who was a basketball coach went around to farms and recruited girls to be on a basketball team. In return, they got a free college education. And this was kind of unheard of, that a girl would get to go to school on an athletic kind of scholarship. And he formed a team called the Cardinals, and this basketball team that was just made up of these random people who really didn't even try out. They just they were just happened to be at a farm when he came by. Did very, very well, and they became a team, and they were kind of something to look up to in a very horrible time where there was drought and people were moving, and the depression was on and economics were terrible, and it kind of gave the people hope. So I hadn't heard about this, and my dad was talking about it, we were talking about it, and so I decided I would read about these young ladies and see what they did and what the story was. The next book is Obsidium by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the third book in the Illuminae series, which is a YA series, but I just really, really like it. It's done in a report style. The first two books, one was Illuminae and the other one was Jemina or Jemina. And it is about a group of people that had to escape a planet because it was attacked, and they got on these big starships and they started to go find a safe place. They've been attacked by other people, kind of a corporation. So you follow in the first book 2 people, and then you follow 2 different people in the other book. They are pretty action-packed, very interesting, a lot of AI and computer type involvement, kind of the government element too, and the high corporations. And like I said, it's done in report format, so you get emails, you get messages, you get computer printout, you get recounts from the video camera and things like that. Overall, it's just, I think it's really entertaining. The books are really big, but they go super, super fast. And I was just anxious to see how this one ends. There are romances somewhat in both books, and probably in this one as well, but they're done very well in that they're not dominating the book, and it's not insanely too much. You know how sometimes you get that, but for the most part, it's very science fiction and fantasy, and I really enjoy the series. And the last book, if you saw my September TBR, you've already seen this one, but this is John Scalzi's Head On, and this is the second book in the Lockin series. This continues where Lockin left off, and Lockin is about in the future, after a pandemic has happened, some people have been left paralyzed. Their brain is totally intact and works very well, but their body is paralyzed. So they are able to connect to a robot and move around using the robot with their own brain, and so they experience everything the robot experiences and are able to have jobs and things like that. So this continues on with that. In Lockin, there was more of a mystery, and I'm not sure about this. Apparently there's some games and things that are being played with these people, so just want to continue on with this. This is I'm not sure if this was the last book or if there'll be more books. John Scalzi tends to do longer series, but we'll see if that's the case on this one. So those are the books that I've gotten in the last probably 6 months or so. Please let me know if you're reading these and what you thought of them. That is all for now. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.